Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulullah. Welcome to Hadith Weekly. There's an authentic hadith where the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Hadith Qudsi, أَنَا عِنْدِ ظَنِّ عَبْدِي بِي فَلْيَظُنَّ عَبْدِي بِي مَشَاءَ, which means, I'm with my slave. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I'm with my slave, whatever he think of me. If he think of me, whatever he thinks, I'll be as he thought of me. Meaning, if he thinks good about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do good for him. If he thinks that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't do good for him, then it's accordingly. This hadith has great benefits, but one of the very important points that we need to learn from this, that we need to take the means to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, even if it sounds and looks like it's small physical means, but once we do it and we have good expectations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for us. And the same hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, as it's mentioned in the hadith, that if my slave comes to me walking, I would come to him harwalatan, which means in a more speedy way. And of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nothing is the like of him subhanahu wa ta'ala. That if a person come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a handspan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do more and more to be closer to his slave. And the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is nothing compared whatsoever to the actions that we do. If we relate this to some of the things that we face, especially for the youth and so on, you want to memorize the Quran, you want to make sure that you pray the salah in jama'ah in the masjid, you want to be away from sins, and you might think that this is overwhelming. You have so many responsibilities, and for you to every day memorize something in the Quran, this will take away from you many of your responsibilities. Put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have good expectations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be consistent even if it's something little. As the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدْوَمَهُ وَإِنْ قَلَّ. The most beloved deeds to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the ones that are done in a consistent manner, even if it's little, but with the good expectations of Allah. If you spend 10 minutes a day to memorize something in the Quran, 2 words, half an ayah, 1 ayah, it doesn't matter. But this is something to be done daily. An act of worship to be done daily. To be among those who every day they memorize something. Not for the necessary that a person would finish the whole Quran in a year or so. Just being in the habit of someone that is memorizing the Quran. Just you enter that door, you start this act, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would bless it if you are consistently doing it. If a person would do this for a month, 2 months, 3 months, without missing any day, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, you would see ayat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You would see signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after that you would find yourself excelling more and more in this, but the key is the consistency. If a person is not able to lower his gaze and it's tempting and it's very difficult for him and he's young and not married and so on, seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have good expectations of Allah. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and take the means. Stay away from the things that makes the person fall in matters of weakness and so on and so forth. Not able to make the salah in the masjid. Take the means. It's physically, it's easy. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed on us in great means that we can go to the masajid and so on. Why deprive ourselves? Take the physical mean. You think that this will take you away from your responsibilities, your studies, your work or whatever. The religion of Allah is more valuable. It's the most valuable thing in our life. Putting the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having the good expectations of Allah, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will be able by the will of Allah to do these things and to have the best of this life and in the hereafter, because no way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will disgrace someone that wants to be steadfast and obedient to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi.